This is Danielle Sanders from the Chicago Defender, and I am in Park Forest at Ventrendi Wines with some incredible women of excellence. And with May, we're celebrating motherhoods, we're celebrating mother and daughter relationships, and we are here with two of our women of excellence, Nikki Hayes and her daughter. Can you guys give me just a little overview of who you are and what you do?
Hi, I am Nikki. I am former president of Labor's Local 1001 and owner of Pier 31 at 31st Street Beach.
And you?
Hi, my name is Shaunna Hayes Davis, and I am my new position is the director for the Civic Engagement Team at the University of Chicago.
Now, this month we are focusing on womanhood and motherhood and how we balance the two, So being a mom, a working mom, an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, have you ever felt like you are confined to certain identities? Mom, businesswoman, entrepreneur, and how do you manage those?
I would say I can't. It is highly impossible. And Shonda Rhimes wrote a book, not recently, a few years ago. And she also did a graduation for college. And she stated that if you are excelling in one, you're losing in another. And we have to learn to accept that. You don't lose everything, but if there is a swim meet, I'm at work. Or if I'm at work, I'm not at the swim meet, or vice versa. You go back and forth with that. Right. And you just trust in God that everything's going to be okay and give them the direction and the ground that they need when they're growing up, and to make sure that everything's going to be okay and just pray on it.
Yeah. I can't agree with you more as a mom. What was it like, having a mom that was so ambitious and growing up in that kind of arena where you're not looking at traditional roles? Your mom is a boss, so when you grow up with a mom boss, that's what I'm gonna call them, a mom boss, what was that like for you growing up?
It wasn't easy. No. It was, when I was younger, it was difficult because I didn't understand. And I was the only child for 14 years. And so I would always, Mama, you didn't cook. She was big on getting up to do breakfast on Saturdays, but during the week, so I learned how to cook at a very young age. And I was, I'm going to be the mother that cooks every night. And then, and the older I got and I became a woman, I understood everything she was doing was for us. All of the meetings, all of the gatherings, all of the events, all of the work functions was so that when we became of age, we could step into arenas like this. And so as a child, I didn't understand it, and I gave her a lot of grief, and I apologized for her all the time. But as a woman, I ordered my dinner.
I said my mother always calls it grandma's revenge when I had kids, because I came into a new understanding of seeing my mother as in her humanity, in her womanness. And, as I've kind of navigated through this space as a mother, I've had to figure out how to make it work for me, and based on my schedule and based on my lifestyle. So how have you been able to balance motherhood, entrepreneurship, being a mom boss, with your daily life? What are the things that you've done to kind of organize your day and your life where you're able to be those things for everybody in your life?
Well, all of us know that we have to make sure that we plan our time accordingly. And with having children, they came along a lot. They came to, a lot of times they didn't know why they were stuffing envelopes for my real job or why they were learning how to put up water and juice in the cooler, but they eventually learned the process and why it was being done. But at that, when they're younger, they're just going along with mom, and sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's not, because they want to be with their friends, but I have to bring them with me. So it's just balancing time. Time is everything. and Lord knows we're tired. We're tired. It's not enough hours in a day. But I think if there were even more than 24 hours as mothers, we'll find something else to do with it.
Now, I always tell people, we come from a long line of strong and powerful black women who showed us the way, whether it be in business and motherhood and just womanhood. So what were some of the lessons that you got from your mother that you've carried through your life today?
Some of the best lessons that she taught me was to always strive for the best. I don't have the same spirit she has when it's the get up and go spirit. I have to make myself get up and go. And sometimes when making myself get up and go, I would get to the ceiling and I would be afraid to crash through it. And then every time I would be afraid, she would be taking another step. Oh, you're a business owner now and you still have a job and you're going to go see Kennedy at College Cross and then you're going to go to so it made me be like, okay, well, I can get up out of this nap with no children. And I can figure it out. So that was one of the biggest lessons. And a lot of the smaller lessons she taught me that I didn't know what mattered was about my hygiene and becoming a woman and controlling my anger and myself. And the biggest one that she would always say is to breathe for 10 seconds before you speak. And I have not gotten that down packed yet. I probably get the 6. But everything that she taught me, it hasn't left. And so that was a lot of the biggest things that she taught.
I said I was the mouthy kid, so my mother would always tell me to be slow to speak and quick to listen. I'm in my 40s and I still ain't got it 100%. I'm trying. But those are the lessons you said. You said it right. Those are the things that kind of stick with you. What are some of the lessons that you got from your old mom that you carried through today?
It's funny she said hygiene because our mom is big on skin. Huge on skin, and when your mom is huge on something, you tend to pass it down to your children. So I'm huge on skin when it comes to my children. They get so if they have a bump or ash on them, they walk into my house like I knew you were gonna say something because I'm like, what is that? And it's but my mom is also the strongest woman I know. She's been through so many tribulations, and for her to come through it with a smile, it's when I come off stage or speaking or walk onto that pier that I see the biggest smile on her face. And that always gives me joy that, when you always want that, Mom, I made it. That's what she gives me when I see her. Mom, I made it.
I said it's so interesting because you always hear parents say we want our children to do better than where we did. And those small lessons, even if our parents weren't college educated or, went through kind of these long processes that we did, to be able to see the next generation kind of take it a step further, I have to ask you, mothers put a lot of pressure on themselves. Society puts a lot of pressure on us, but we also put that pressure on ourselves. Do you ever struggle with mommy guilt? And if you do, how did you deal with it?
I used to struggle a lot. I don't know what the turn that happened when I was in my early 40s. And it was a turn for a lot of different things. But I do remember watching something, and it gave me the confidence that I needed for myself. And I took the guilt away of not being there all the time. And when you have 3 children, and they're like Shaunna says, there's a 14 span between her and the younger 2. So I'm being pulled in 3 different directions. Married at the time also, working and starting a new business when they were 6 and 7, the smaller ones. And so I was being pulled a lot of different ways. And to wake up one day and say, I don't have to be guilty about anything that I'm doing to better my life, because bettering my life betters their life. And so when I started to think about that whatever I do or whatever time I take away from them, that it's going to make them better. And they'll be better for it. What your mama used to say, you hate me now, and you'll thank me later.
That's very true. And as daughters, I have a mother who has been on my neck from day one as far as, trying to kind of show me the ways of womanhood and things like that. And, when you're younger and in the 20s, like, whatever. But as I've gotten older and matured, have you come to see your mother in a more human way? We look at our moms as superheroes, but as you get older, you start to see their humanity. Has that happened for you?
Absolutely. I was just telling someone, growing up, my mother was a machine to me. You get A's, you get B's, and if you get that B, it better be because you tried and not because you're missing work.
Right.
And so, a curfew was at 9:00, and she didn't waver from her rules. And then we grew up, and my sister and brother, she became a different person, and I kind of was jealous and envious of not them, but the more freedom they got. And then she got divorced, and that was the first time I saw her as a woman. I didn't see her pain. I didn't see her hurt because she doesn't show us that a lot. But it was the first time I realized that she was more than a mother. It was the first time I realized I've been hurt a lot. I've been broken a lot by a lot of men. And I realized that this was someone she had been with forever. And that was the first time I saw her as a woman. And that was the first time I told her, I said, I love you and I got you. And I'm a daddy's girl, so if I say I got you, I got you. And it was the first time I backed my brother and sister off of her. And I told them to give her space to cope and to step into whatever she needs to step into.
Yeah. I think that's so interesting because you do see, people talk a lot about, especially the dynamic between mothers and daughters, and often a negative way, when the reality is so many of us are so close to our moms, and having that tight, close-knit mother-daughter relationship. For you, what have you learned being a parent and mothering a daughter? What have been some of the greatest lessons that you've learned?
I've learned communication. Growing up, I know. Sometimes you want to, sometimes you don't. But I know that growing up, my mom didn't communicate the hurt, the feelings, the why. It was just do as I say. And you did it, and it worked for us. I mean, it actually worked for us. And now you have these children that you communicate with, and sometimes it's, okay, that's too much communication. But a lot of times you want that communication because you want them not to go through the hurdles that you did. So if that communication can allow that, I can make your life, I can make that road a lot smoother for you. You just told me what you were doing and how you were doing it and which way you want to do it. Because mommy got connections that she can help you make that road a lot smoother. And so that communication helps a lot and makes both of you grow a lot. A lot.
So as we kind of head into Mother's Day, what message would you like to send to our readers, many of whom are Black mothers, Black daughters? What message would you like to send to mothers on this Mother's Day?
The message I'd like to send to mothers on this Mother's Day is that we are not superwoman. I do not wear a cape. I don't want to wear a cape. Sometimes we just want to pull a cover up and Netflix.
That's right.
We don't want to be mommy. We don't want to be anything. And it's okay, just to do nothing. That we don't have to. We don't have to be in the room, at the place, at the appointment. And if we don't want to do mama brunch, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We can stay in bed.
She's going to do brunch.
Now, as a daughter, what message would you like to convey to mothers, on behalf of daughters? What would you like to say on this Mother's Day to mothers?
To mothers, I would like to say that we love you, we appreciate you. You may not want to be Superwoman, but you are Superwoman, and we may want to get in the bed with you when you want to do your Netflix, and it's nothing against you all. It is us always wanting to protect you and wanting to be there for you and wanting to make sure that you know that we love you and we love everything that you do for us. And to the daughters, I want to say to provide your mother grace. I did not always provide my mother grace. I still don't sometimes. I don't get it right. I just didn't get it right a few days ago, right? But my mother provides me grace every day. And so I would just say that we do have this bond, but sometimes it breaks. And so provide your mother's grace, allow your mother to be a woman, allow her to love, allow her to feel, allow her to go through her trials and tribulations, and just be there when she wants you to be there, not when you want to be there for her.
To see women and motherhood in their humanity, I think that's really the central theme. This is Danielle Sanders from the Chicago Defender, and we're celebrating motherhood this Mother's Day with some of our incredible women of excellence.